Greetings, dear friends! Not even 6 months have passed, and here is a new video on the channel. And not just a video, but a new part of the eSports Manager Development Diary. Yes, I'm in shock myself, but it's true. Well, in the comments to the last part, I was often asked, when will the game be released? Although I specifically answered this question at the end of the video, there are still people who don't know when the game will be released. That's why today I will talk about it at the beginning of the video, because maybe at least that's how people will hear. The festival of demos of various games in Steam begins on February 5th. eSports Manager participates in the festival, so you can play the demo from the February 5th to 12th. If you sponsored the game on Patreon for at least $10 for the entire time, then you will receive a key to the game and will be able to play the demo even after February 12th. For all others, the demo will not be available after that. The release date of the full version of the game depends on the feedback I get from the players. If critical problems with the performance and stability of the game are not detected, the game will be released in March. If there are any big problems, then probably in April. I hope everyone understands that now and we can start reviewing the game updates. Let's start with the small one. Support for mods for tournaments and sponsors has been added. Mods replace names and logos of tournaments and sponsors. So far, there is no support for changing the format of tournaments, but in the future such an opportunity will most likely be realized. Mods for sponsors also replace only logos and names. The team roster page has been updated. The player and staff panel is now more informative. It now displays not only current team members, but also those with a preliminary contract. The captain selection panel has also been updated and now displays skills important to the captain. In this way, it will be easier to choose a player for this position. The chemistry panel has been replaced with a team psychology panel. Depending on the performance of the team, the mental mood of the team will improve or worsen, which in turn will affect the team's level of play. The transfer market page has received several updates. First, the results are now displayed on pages. If earlier the search output was limited to 20 results, now there are no any restrictions and you can get a list of all players who meet the selected criteria. In addition, the criteria of the current skill level and potential were added. The search takes into account whether the manager has knowledge of specific players or not. Therefore, it will not be possible to simply use a filter on unemployed players with the potential of 20 and recruit a team of future stars. You will still have to study the players to get information about their real level. Finally, we move on to the significant update, the team training system. The team's level of readiness for the game is broken down into categories called training aspects in the game. To improve the team's level of play, the players need to choose the right number of training exercises so that each aspect progresses. The level of progress depends not only on the exercises chosen, but also on the skill level of the coaches. So having a well-packaged coaching staff is very important. Training makes players tired, so it's also important to balance the load in such a way that the aspect progress, but the players don't get tired. Fatigue has a catastrophic effect on the team's level of play. Which exercises affect the aspects in which way, the game doesn't specify. Therefore, the additional difficulty for the player will be to explore it himself. To make it a little easier, every 28 days a message will be sent to the inbox about what progress or regression occurred in the aspects. Also, with some frequency, players will get tired of the same training process, so some aspects will need more attention than others. I will not tell you about it in the detail, so that it will be more interesting for you to play, but I will say that everything should be quite intuitive. While we are waiting for the training report, we suddenly receive a message in the inbox with the information that some tournament has started. This is an information message that now appears when any tournament starts in the region where the player's team is playing. There is a similar message at the end of the tournament, as well as the beginning and end of the closed qualification for the tournament. If the player is unemployed, he will receive news about tournaments in all regions. For each tier of the tournament, you can individually configure whether you want to receive messages about it or not. So if you get tired of such messages, you can just turn them off. And finally, after 28 days, we received a message with a report on the team's training. It shows the percentage progress for each aspect, as well as which and how many exercises have been performed. In my case, there is a huge progress in all aspects, but I filled the whole week with exercises, so the team is completely tired during this stressful month, so it is necessary to remove the extra exercises so that the players come to their senses a little. This is how you will need to balance workload with rest so that aspects progress and players don't get tired. Another quality of life feature is the tracking of transfer agreements and player contracts for terms or bonuses that still need to be paid. It's just a convenient way to get the information. In addition, when signing a player, you can now choose a bonus of played and won official matches. This applies both transfer payments and player's personal contract. Another message that was added is the results of the player's team at the tournament. This report reflects all income and expenses related to the tournament. So now you can easily calculate whether the tournament was profitable or not. The long-awaited staff page has finally been added to the game. This page displays not only all of our workers, but also the efficiency of each department. Efficiency is affected by the number of workers in each of the positions, the level of their skills, as well as the appropriateness of the position. The higher the efficiency, the more productive they work. Analysts analyze players faster, scouts find more players, coaches train more efficiently, and therapists reduce player demoralization. The staff composition is also displayed here. For each position, there is now a maximum number of workers you can have on your team. The number is different for each tier of the team. If you try to sign a worker for a position for which your quota has already been reached, the team management will cancel this signing. In the analytical department, you can track current and completed player analysis tasks. Also, now you can cancel the analysis if the player is no longer interesting to you. Another new game mechanic is scouting. If you don't have scouts in your team, then scouting will not be available to you. Once you have at least one scout, you can create a campaign. Searching for players is limited by your scout's world knowledge. And the more knowledge you have about a particular region, the more players scouts will be able to find. Among the search criteria, you can choose the player's position, his age, contract status, as well as the minimum current and potential rating. You can also set the duration of the campaign, 30, 90 or 180 days. Once a campaign is created, it cannot be changed, but information about it can be viewed. Gradually, over time, scouts will begin to find players who fit the criteria. Depending on the level of scouts, the players who will be on the list will be studied for the appropriate percentage. If the player is interesting to you, you can study him to the end, or add him to the watch list. The watchlist currently just stores everyone you have added to it without any additional functionality. In the future, it will be possible to receive periodic reports on the players on the list, where they play, how their development progress is, which teams they transfer to, etc. At the end of the campaign, we receive a message with information about some of those who were found. There is also a button in the message that allows you to open a list of all found players. So that was all the news I wanted to tell you about today. The next eSports Manager video will be on the eve of the demo release, but this will not be just a development diary, but a real let's play, in which I will show you the tactics settings and match simulation. You can support the development of the game and get a game key in return on Patreon. Subscribe to the channel if for some reason you haven't done it yet, and press the like button please, to help promote the game obviously. So yeah, thanks for the watching, see you soon!